Hi, Vitamin G here, back with another video from the ISRL. So today we've got the first round of the current season, season 10 of the GR3 Championship, and I, for some unknown reason, decided to drive the Lamborghini. There it is. I've dubbed this the Raging Bull, or the Death Trap. I knew it was going to be tricky, but it's been a steep learning curve, let's say that. So anyway, let's go on with it. So here's my qualifying lap from round one, my best lap. So just rounding the final bend into the straight, hoping for a good exit to start a lap. And as you can see, I've done a 1:32.3 for my first attempt, and that one's a 1:32.1, so getting better. Still quite a way off what I'd managed to do in practice though. But this lap started quite nicely, so I've taken that first bend pretty well, and then managed to get flat through the S's here, which is actually pretty easy in this Lambo in this settings with no tyre wear or fuel. And then into this really nice long left-hander, which you take pretty nicely again. Almost too far wide on the curve, but just hold it together. And now to the first real sketchy part of the lap, first chicane. The Lambo does not like the curve through here. As you can see there, a little squeal as I came off that curb, but all good, and I carried pretty good speed. Didn't totally nail it. Into the hairpin, which I found I had to be a bit cautious in the Lambo. You don't really get any sort of sideways, or you don't want to get the weight moving too much in this car. It does suffer with weight transfer. And then the second real sketchy bit, did that pretty well. And then to the final bend, don't quite nail the braking, but I do get a good exit. And out again, right onto the curb. And I crossed the line with a 1:31.6, which at the time was good enough for a provisional pole. So let's have a look if I held on to that. And no, unfortunately not. I didn't even hold on to second. So Raiden did a really good lap of 31.4, and then Athenian there with a really nice lap of 31.5. Me on a 31.6, and Hat Maris only literally like 15 thousandths behind me again on a 31.6. So very tight there between the top four. I think just over 2 tenths covering us. One thing that's brilliant about the Lambo is its starts, as you'll see here. No faffing around with trying to induce wheel spin, just stick traction control one on and off you go. The Ferrari also in front, a fast starting car, and the Citroen. The Porsche not so poor Athenian's good work in qualifying undone there with the start on the Porsche, but still he's there in fourth in the slipstream, and slipstream is very important on this track. You can gain so much, as you can see here, me gaining on the Ferrari and the Lambo. So yeah, the Lambo's a bit sketchy. Anyone who's driven it will know that it seems to want to try and kill you at the sight of a bend sometimes. On other occasions, it can just go round really nicely. You've just got to be really careful with steering angle, throttle, and just really look after it at all stages of taking corners, basically. So here, I need a TV camera. We see we're all still in the chain, as you would expect at the end of the first lap of the sprint. About half a second behind Raiden, with Hat Maris closer behind me by about 3 tenths. Bit of an incident in the background, as you can see, multiple cars colliding there. Yeah, we're just focusing on the front 3 here, really, for this race. So back with my on board. So I was a bit worried before this race, up until I chose the Lambo about a week before it started, and yeah, like I said earlier, it was a bit of a steep learning curve. I struggled to get a lap without binning it initially. Then I was able to run okay on my own, but then when we did practice races, it was a whole different ball game when I was running with other cars. And yeah, I didn't actually manage a sprint practice without being in it. So I was going a bit cautious here. I was nicely in the slipstream. The slipstream on this game is ridiculously strong at the moment. Really difficult to break the slipstream on most circuits unless you're a lot quicker than the guy behind or they make a mistake. So for now, at this point in the race, I'm up in second, courtesy of the start, and I'm just basically trying not to make any mistakes with the intention of hopefully attacking later on, because with the sketchy Lamborghini and the slipstream and me still not really that used to it, I didn't really want to be ahead. So at the moment, all good. You can see there on the deltas that it's about 7 tenths between myself and Raiden and 7 tenths back to Hat. So, you know, it's close, but we're all relatively comfortable. So now the rearward camera, and you see my Lambo having a little bit of a squirm there. The Ferrari that Raiden's driving here is also a bit sketchy, and to be honest, and to be fair to Hat, so is that Citroen, and also Hat's on the controller as well, so that definitely adds to the danger factor. So yeah, going nicely through here, just keeping it as neat and tidy as I can, and also it's by points pulling a little bit out of the slipstream, like in the run to the chicane. I didn't really want the extra speed. I found with the Lambo that it's bloody quick in a straight line anyway, and then with the slipstream, you just seem to gain more. Seem to gain more. Maybe it was an illusion, but it just seemed to me that I had to adjust my braking points more in this car than I did previously with the Peugeot or other cars I've driven. So again, another reason why I'm being quite cautious. Obviously I can't be too cautious because I haven't got a big gap behind. So just exiting the corner there at the end of the third lap, starting the fourth lap, still nicely in the slipstream, pretty much similar to how we were at the end of the last lap. So going into the first bend, I like to go into there in fourth, and then in this format drop it down to third to try and get a bit more boost on the exit. It's a little bit wide there. And I'm in the slipstream, so a little bit of a lift there, and see there's a moment for Raiden on the curb. The Ferrari's bitting him a little bit, and I'm now actually in the lead, which isn't really what I wanted, like I said earlier. So now plans have changed, so I'm going to try and up my pace a little bit, because now I've got the lead, I'd quite like to keep it. If I brake at the start of the curbs there, down into third, around 85 mile an hour, just try and clip each curb but not too much, so not to disturb the Lambo. Took that pretty nicely, little clip of the curb, and then braking just before the edge of that R, down into seconds for a late apex. It's a little bit wide, but took that nicely, and then looking to pull the car over to the left hand side of the track for a smooth entry into this second sketchy chicane, keeping the car nice and balanced through there, trying not to disturb it too much, and then braking at the white line on the left hand side there for a late apex, final bend to try and get the best exit. Don't quite nail it, but it's again not bad. And crossing the line with a 1:32.285, just slower than my fastest lap, which is only 3,000 slower than the actual fastest lap of the race that Raiden currently holds. So you see how close Raiden is to me coming up through the first sector here. Ferrari literally pushing my Lambo through there. Look at that, ridiculous. You can't see anything when you're like that behind the car in front. But he was a bit too close, so the momentum doesn't quite carry him alongside me. And I'm not having any of that the inside into that bend, but I got a bit of sideways action with the Lambo. I had to counter steer, and as a consequence I don't get the greatest exit. So if I could have this moment back again, I'm not sure what I would do different, but hopefully it would go better than it does now. So we brake, Raiden's on the inside, so I leave him space. We go side by side, no contact, but unfortunately, the inside curb there, I take a bit too much of it, unsettles the Lambo, and I don't manage to catch it. Do a bit of lawn mowing, and yeah, down to fourth. So, and dirty tyres, as you'll see here. I run wide in the hairpin, so down to fourth, and also now out of the slipstream. So that could have gone better. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Raiden had the run, and fair play, went for the move. We went, there's no contact, but unfortunately I just took a little bit too much curb on the inside, a little bit too much steering angle, unbalanced the car as it came to the curb, and yeah, it went. I tried to save it, but too late. So we're down to fourth. Not the end of the world though. So let's see if we can catch up with Athenion and get back to the podium. So it's going to be tough because Athenion's no slouch. As you can see, he wasn't far behind the lead three when I made that mistake. So 2.1 seconds or 2 seconds behind with 2.5 laps to go. So yeah, I was a little bit rattled by that moment. So, but I just had to try and put it behind me and get back on it. So through the chicane there pretty nicely. And now just to switch to TV camera to see what's going on with the leading pair. So as you can see, Raiden is still in the lead. Hat's still close behind. I would say just on the cusp of the slipstream now. So through the final chicane there for Hat. Still close up behind Raiden as they go round the final bend for the 6th time. So 2 laps to go at the end of this one. And you can see there's Athenion and myself in the background, so not far off even with that mistake. I think I'm only 6 seconds behind, or no, 4.5 seconds behind I think I am at this point. So back with the rearward camera from Raiden's car. Nice view of Hat coming through this first S's in the first sector. You see both the cars having a bit of a waggle of the rear end through their various points, such as the fun of driving these MR cars. And then back to me through the same sector. So yeah, coming around this left-hander, I just thought I'd see, what it's like on the outside of the track. Been driving around the inside there most of the laps, so thought I'd give the outside a try. It's nice, slower, but yeah, very smooth. So anyway, through the chicane again, managed to take that quite well again. So I was pleased actually that I managed to get through that chicane, other than obviously when it took me out. Obviously wasn't pleased with that one, but the rest of the times I actually took it really well in the race, which was pleasing. That had been a particular place where I'd been in it in practice. Just went ahead there to see the TV camera. You see Athenion has a bit of a moment in the sketchy chicane, which actually allows me to catch up a good half a second there going into the final lap. So in with a sniff of the shout of the podium, and also I really wanted to get the fastest lap. As you can see from the graphic there, Raiden's got it at the moment, and my fastest lap is only 3,000 slower. So if I get into Athenion's slipstream, there is a chance that I could nip that, and I get a good run through the first sector, and I'm actually now on the cusp of the slipstream, and then with the power of the Lambo, I'm actually in it now. Which unfortunately means I brake a little bit too late for that bend because I don't take account for it, but still take it quite nicely. And as you can see, the gap's now down to 1.2 seconds. So I just need to get a good run through this chicane. Nothing spectacular. As long as I get a decent run, I'll stay in the slipstream. and it was okay. Athenine again got a slightly better run than me, but the slipstream's going to pull it back, and you know, it's a slim chance, but you never know, a bit of pressure. So again, into the hairpin, a little bit deep, but managed to pull it in nicely. Gap still at 1.2 seconds, into the sketchy chicane. And I've taken that really nicely, and I'm pulling him in, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Though the fastest lap is still not out of the question, I was only 34 thousandths off my quickest time at that last checkpoint. And with the slipstream, you never know, I might just nick it. And across the line with a 32.284. So I think 17 thousandths off. So not quite, but not too unhappy with the first race in the Lamb. Obviously it could have been better, but 4th place, yeah, considering how it'd gone in practice with me binning it all the time, that was okay. So yeah, let's just have a little look at the where I binned it basically. So this is from Hat's view, so that's me and Raiden going in side by side, and as you can see there's daylight between the cars, there's plenty of space. I just lose it on the curb, and again from Raiden's car, loads of room given. Raiden even has a little twitch, but again, you know, we come close but we don't actually touch. If you see, I get my right hand wheels just on the grass, and then a bit of movement, steering angle, accelerator. I just wasn't expecting it, to be honest. So a bit of painful lawn mowing at the end there. Yeah, so nice one to anyone watch this. I'm going to leave you with the start of the race, racing back